Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sprout New Habits. This is a teleseminar that I'm doing this evening, and there's a couple great quotes that I really want to start the evening off with. Albert Einstein once said, "Setting an example is not the main means of influencing another. It is the only means." And another one, "Your children will become who you are, so be who you want them to be." And lastly, Rosemary Wixom once said, "One of the greatest influences a person can have in this world is to influence a child." Now, how are these quotes important to this evening's conversation? Well, creating healthy habits as a family is the most effective way to achieving success and keeping healthy habits long term. Not only will you be able to influence your children in creating a healthy and vibrant life for themselves, but you will be able to support others in your goals, in your goals, and have the opportunity to bring the whole family closer together and enjoy positive activities as a group. We all have those people that have influenced our lives. For me, there are probably really two people that really influenced my life greatly. One, strangely enough, was my physical education teacher, Mr. Tomlinson. He was an awesome, wise person, and he instilled in me, who at the time was a heavy-set small kid with severe self-esteem issues, values that have continued with me even to this very day. He taught through a position of not authority, but gentle, albeit firm guidance. And I had the opportunity to go back and thank him a couple of times after I graduated high school. I did this because I believe that we should all do this with those that make a sincere and meaningful impact on our lives. After all, we never know how the little things that we think, say, or do today will affect the countless millions tomorrow. And shouldn't we let those people know when we get a chance? So there was one other person that really made even a greater impact on my life, and that's actually my mother. She was always a positive speaker. She encouraged personal growth in all areas of my life, and she gave me a passion for learning, to be as good a person as possible. She taught me to be empathetic to others and to never be satisfied with mediocrity. She was also instrumental in helping to instill a passion for quotes. You've heard me, I've actually said 4 of them up to now tonight. I remember one time she spent, who knows, I'm sure a countless number of hours typing quotes on note cards, and she put all these note cards together in a note box and gave them to me for a gift one year. I don't remember whether it was for Christmas or birthday, but I still have that box to this day. Literally hundreds and hundreds of quotes on these note cards in this box, and I can go to that box and pull it out and randomly pick a quote anytime that I feel the need to. That gift really meant a lot to me. So as you can see, my mother being such an important person in my life, that was somebody in my household who I grew up with that made such an impact on who I became as a person. So what is the point of all this? No matter who we have in our lives, and we can have great mentors, but the influence that we have on our children literally shapes their lives, whether we want them to or not. That influence extends to all areas of their lives. So what are some strategies that we can use at home in order to be the best influences for our children? That is the meat and potatoes of this seminar, and I'm going to discuss 5 simple strategies that you can use to become a healthier, happier, closer family. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is about nutrition, and so the heading for this particular section is Eat Well to Sprout Life. It's much easier to eat healthy when those around us are eating healthy as well. While each individual is responsible for his or her own habits, we all know how difficult it can be to resist a chocolate chip cookie or a candy bar when a family member always keeps them in the house, and how much easier it is to eat healthier when those around us are eating healthy as well. So along the same lines, remember that your kids look up to you. They see the choices that you make, for better or for worse, and that's true, isn't it? I mean, we want our kids to have healthy habits, but if we're being unhealthy, they're going to model that as well. So the habits that you keep will influence their own habits. So the first thing that I recommend is calling a family meeting, and this may be a little strange if you've never done it before, but make a pact together to eat healthy. Instead of trying to force family members to eat how you think they should, take the time to educate them on what healthy nutrition is. People of any age are much more likely to develop healthy habits when they know why they should, because they feel like they're in control of their own choices. This can be difficult with children, so you can't really talk about things like, oh, it's going to be healthier for your heart, or because it keeps your blood sugar more stable. I'm sure that many of you can still remember the days, most of the people that are on this call actually, that I've talked to already, Remember the day of Saturday morning cartoons and those old public service announcements about breakfast. What is a good breakfast, and what happens when the engine runs out of gas? Remember those? The kids running around the room and they sort of just fall over. You want to break it down to simple thoughts that your children can digest. Tailor it to them. Make it interesting for them and real. Make it amongst the goals that might be important to them. These days, maybe talking about how if you eat the meat on your plate, it might make you big like John Cena. I don't know if that would work with your particular child, but you get my drift. Recognize that each person, even those who share some of your DNA, has a different body, each of which may need different varieties of foods. So some people feel better eating a vegetarian or a vegan diet, while others may feel better on a high-protein diet, and some others may tend to go through phases. Now, of course, it's not very practical to cook each person in the family a separate dinner if everyone likes different food, but rather our point is that it's important to instill in children a healthy relationship with their food so they can develop healthy habits for a lifetime. Here are some of the tips to do just that. Don't force anyone to clean their plates if they're not hungry anymore. It's really important to listen to the signals of the body. This doesn't mean that you have to waste that food. So save any uneaten food for that family member to eat either later in the day or, maybe a little while later. Some kids are really slow eaters. I have one of my granddaughters is a super picky eater, and she will sit there and play with her food forever. So you can save that for them to eat later, or you can have them eat it at their next meal, or take it to school for lunch the next day. The next strategy is to serve balanced meals. A good rule of thumb is to make sure that meals contain protein, carbohydrates, and fat, as well as a tall glass of water to hydrate the body. They don't have to know what a carb, a protein, or a fat are, but for you as a parent, healthy sources of carbohydrates might include fruits and vegetables and minimally processed grains such as quinoa, brown rice, or buckwheat. Healthy sources of protein might include beans, organic if possible, meats, and eggs. And healthy sources of fats would include olive oil, nuts, and avocado. Now, it may seem counterintuitive, but don't vilify sugary processed foods. This is really, really important. Don't make sugar the enemy. Do not. There was a really, really interesting study published in 2003 in the Oxford Journals. This is a peer-reviewed journal on public health and health education that showed that when a group of children had access to a variety of foods and they could eat anything unrestricted, they naturally began to eat a more balanced diet. In comparison, another group of children who were deprived of choice and they were forced to eat certain foods, they were restricted from eating desserts. They did eat more healthy foods, but they also ate more snacks and more sugary foods. And this resulted in many more calories being consumed and thus more weight gain and higher incidences of weight problems and body image issues. So by not letting kids eat dessert, they may want it even more. And by only allowing it after they finish their vegetables, not only are you encouraging them or sort of subconsciously encouraging them to eat more dessert, you're actually defining dessert as a reward. So you want to instill a healthy relationship with food with your children. Teach by example. Show your children how much you love eating broccoli. And that may be difficult if you don't love broccoli, but you can pick your other vegetables. And serve balanced meals and comment on how tasty the chicken is. Instead of making dessert out to be the enemy, show them how good the healthy foods are. And next, you want to instill healthy habits as a family. Go to the grocery store. I know all the mothers that are on this call, they're going to cringe because, the last thing they want to do is drag their kids out and take them out into town sometimes. But go to the grocery store together. Let the kids pick out the foods that are going to make up your healthy meals. If you give them the assignment of choosing vegetables, they're the ones picking out the asparagus. They're going to eat it, and they're going to eat it with pride. Another idea that you might use is to get children excited about vegetables is to plant a garden together. Pick a spot in your yard that has access to sun and plant seeds for vegetables. And once those plants grow, eating those vegetables become kind of fun and exciting. So those are some ideas for instilling more healthy habits with nutrition. The next strategy that we're going to talk about is about getting your kids more active. So the headline for this part of the conversation is, don't act like a tree, move. You want to stay active as a family. So instead of seeing exercise as a chore, try to make it fun and engaging. There are tons of ways that you can exercise. You just have to get up and move. So some simple things that you can do, the things that really kind of come to mind first for just about anybody, is you can go for walks together, or you can take bike rides together, take the dogs to the dog park, or take a hike. You can go out to Shawnee Mission Park and walk the trails out there. But there's some other ideas, and you just have to kind of be creative. Some other ideas that I have that would be fun for you to do with your family would be to have a family pillow fight. Make sure you're being as safe as possible and do it in an area away from breakables or glass objects. But set the expectation that it's going to be fun and lighthearted, not aggressive. If your pillow has a zipper, make sure you hold that zipper part of the pillow in your hand. A pillow fight can be an effective form of exercise. It uses the whole body, gets the heart pumping. But beyond that, it also teaches children not to be afraid of facing challenges, and that even when you're being knocked down by life, or a pillow in this case, you can just get right back up again. Next idea would be to have a family dance-off. You can take turns dancing for each other. You can all dance together. Game systems like the Wii has made this really easy. And I know friends even that I have that are my age will get together and play the game on the Wii, the dance game that's on the Wii. It can be a lot of fun. It's great exercise, and it's definitely entertaining. The last thing is to play sports together. Sports teach teamwork, hard work and focus, and improve hand and eye coordination and motor skills. So those are some ideas for getting your family more active that you may not be thinking of. The next topic that we're going to talk about, the next strategy, is to be social butterflies. So we want to encourage good social habits with our kids. Having a family board game night is a fun way to build bonds and exercise the brain. Pick games that are appropriate for your children's age, but we recommend games like Settlers of Catan, Carcassonne, Dominion, Scrabble, and Pictionary, things that make the kids think. And also increase their imagination and encourage imagination. I'm sorry that the word is skipping my mind. But another thing you can do is invite other families over. And so that way you have a chance to not only play but to socialize. It's important for children to learn how to interact with others and to build relationships with people that are beyond their own family. Another thing that you can do is volunteer together. Not only does volunteering allow children to build bonds with others in need, but it teaches them the importance of giving back to the community. A great place to volunteer here in the area is Shawnee Community Services. They're in Shawnee over off of 67th and Neiman. They can always use the help, and this can be very gratifying to young kids and old alike, knowing that they're making a difference. I have a couple families, one in particular that actually took their kids and their nieces and nephews over to Shawnee last Christmas to Shawnee Community Services, and they had a great time and I think an overall really good experience. So if you want me to put you in touch with the volunteer service coordinator, Shawnee Community Services volunteer coordinator, just give me a call or shoot me a message either on Facebook or on my email, and I can get you in touch with her. She's actually a really good friend of mine. The next strategy we're going to talk about is planning core values to grow. Determine what your core values are, both as a family and individually. So the way to start developing what your core values are is to make a list of things that are important to you in life. And this can be anything from walking the dog to reading books to saving money to keeping good hygiene. Now, once you've made your list, you want to review it and look for the values that are in your list. And you want to categorize those items into your values. So, for example, if you have reading and studying and going to a museum on your list, you might make learning or education as one of your values. Now, once you actually have your list of values, you want to make sure that you all agree on them. So as a family, you want to make sure you agree. Write them down or print them up on a sheet of paper and frame it prominently in your house. That way it can serve as a reminder to live with those core values in day-to-day life. And isn't that really, really important for everybody? I mean, if we always make our decision based on whether it's based on a core value that we have and whether it's moving us towards that value or away from that value, it helps make decisions very easy. Next, and I believe this is my last topic, the last strategy that I'm going to talk about this evening, is set intentions in bloom. And in this particular instance, I am co-using intentions and goals. So think of intentions as goals. So we want to hold a monthly intention meeting with the family. And so to prepare for these meetings, you're going to get colored note cards and pens from your local supply store, office supply store. And during the meeting, you're going to have each member of the family write down their intentions or goals that they want to accomplish by the end of the month, and then share them with the rest of the family. So you might say, it's my goal, for my fourth grader, it's her goal to read a book and finish it by the end of the month, or to do all their chores every week, or to get an A on a particular test or project in school. Then you want to hold each other accountable to accomplishing the intentions or the goals that they have by checking in with one another. Give each other support by offering ideas to accomplish the goals with ease. And unless it's your first monthly meeting of setting goals or setting intentions, have each family member read aloud last month's intentions and discuss how well they did on following them. So that's what I have for you guys tonight. I really hope that these tips are helpful in raising a happy, healthy, and well-rounded family. And remember that we're available at Performance Chiropractic to help if you have any questions. As always, remember to get adjusted. The family that gets adjusted together stays healthy together. So please call the office to make an appointment. If you happen to be a guest on this call and you aren't already a patient team member at Performance Chiropractic, we would love to have the opportunity to come in and to have you come in and find out if chiropractic is right for you. Mention that you listen to our Sprout Healthy Habits seminar, and we will be glad to take care of your first visit in our office at no charge to sit down and talk with me and find out if chiropractic is something that might fit into your life. We can be reached here at our office at 913-782-5000. Our website is www.myperformancechiropractic.com, and we are also on Facebook under Performance Chiropractic Olathe. So I hope that everybody enjoyed this seminar. I hope that you have a fantastic evening, everyone. Enjoy your family, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you so very much.